Hello, and welcome to Torg's Day Night on Tuesday on the Ulysses International channel. I am JM, your GM, and we are back with the Horsemen, our long-running Torg campaign, but not our longest-running. Tune in on Thursday nights for the joyful return to the crew of the Oh Boy and the Fading Suns game. But that is neither here nor there. We are here in Core Earth, and we are going to, we have some new faces, we have some old faces. We're going to go around and do our introduction in case this is your first night here on the Torg stream, but I will give a brief recap. The Horsemen, quite possibly one of the Delphi Council's most memorable teams, has been on the trail of a mystery that was started long ago by a different group of Storm Knights who uncovered a ancient map in the Nile Empire, a map that led them to several places in other cosms where it looked as if some ancient prophecy or force or power had hidden pieces of a potent artifact to be used against the coming darkness on Core Earth long before the invasion happened. They have recovered several pieces of this before that team was captured by agents of Volkov, the president of Russia and High Lord in training. And a new team was put together, I almost said the B team, that's the third team. The Horsemen, who have been on the trail of trying to uncover what Volkov is about and what his plan is, only to be thwarted by one of these original Storm Knights who has put her own team together, a Storm Knight from the Nile Empire by the name of Lapis. For nearly a year and a half, Lapis has been a thorn in the side of the Horsemen, only to be captured by Volkov thanks to some severely next-level trickery by the Horsemen. The Horsemen then made it their way to Orosh after encountering something called the Source and an incredibly handsome man by name of Grigory Rasputin, who has begun whirlwind romance with Toranik, the Udinos of the Living Land. So they made it to, Grigory saved the Horsemen, sent them to Orosh, and after discovering rule number one about Orosh sucks. It's a great cosm, but it's not super friendly. The group had a massive showdown at Kalapanai prison against a nightmare known as the Warden, where they not only stopped the Warden, they rescued three very important members to the Delphi Council. They rescued Speckles and Anton, so four. Sorry, Speckles, Archibald Peacock, Sergeant afoot, Simeon, a hero from the Nile Empire, and then much to their dismay, they rescued Lapis.
You guys are the best.
And in the final confrontation with the Warden, several lives were lost. Anton, the noble member of the race, who had journeyed with the Horsemen since the first day in Philadelphia when they came together, the powerful pyro and telekinetic, fell torn apart by one of the Warden's hybrids. And Lady Salvo, the mysterious, the woman of mystery from the Nile Empire, who bore more than a passing resemblance to Lapis, down to the fact that the weight of their guns were identical, sacrificed her life to blow up the Warden. And so after a much-needed convalescence, the Horsemen, now joined by Simeon, their old foe Lapis, stand around, having recovered from at least the physical wounds of Orosh, with two tasks ahead of them. One, to meet up with their Delphi Council contact, a mysterious electric samurai by the name of Maru, and to eulogize the passing of two horsemen, Lady Salvo and Anton. So if you guys are okay with it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by introducing the former horsemen. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about your character, maybe one of like the moments that sticks out most about the horseman's story so far. And then if you would like to say some words over your fallen comrades. I'm going to pick on Michael, if that's all right. We'll let him go first. Michael, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, your most memorable moment in your mind from the Horseman game, and then do you have anything to say over the eternal flames that have been lit for Anton and Lady Salvo?
Yes, definitely. So my character is Tyrannic, who is a Dino from the Yucatan Peninsula, and yeah, I am not going to say anything about Grigori. I am going to call back, though, to one of the last times that I saw Lapis was throwing her out of a helicopter. So that is going to be...
You threw me out of the helicopter.
That's right. Tyrannic infiltrated Lapis's organization only to betray her at a key moment when he joined
That's right.
the Horsemen. I'm sure that won't come back to cause any inter-party conflict.
Exactly.
Anything that you would say
Yes.
before the Twin Eternal Flames. So you guys are in Pan Pacifica. So Pan Pacifica is this cosm that is mostly over Southeast Asia. It was a very subtle invasion. So where like, right, in Tharkold when the Maelstrom Bridge came down and was nuked and techno-demons, this was, hey, there's this weird thing going on in Southeast Asia. Don't worry, this corporation's got it covered. And it wasn't until many months later that the Delphi Council kind of went, wait a second. And so Pan Pacific is this sort of stealthy cosm. We'll go over all of the rules, kind of the themes after we... So you guys are at this small Delphi Council safe house where they have this glossy black stone with several names you don't recognize, and the latest names etched in there are Anton, the Race, Tharkold, Lady Salvo, the Nile Empire, and then they both gave their lives defeating one of the Gauntman's nightmares. So
yeah, well, I think Tyrannic steps up to give a pretty moving speech, and just before he can do that, I think Peaches darts in front of him, and Peaches is just a wreck.
Now, who is Peaches, and why is he such a wreck at Lady Salvo's grave?
Peaches is my trusty animal companion, who is a pterodactyl, that also coincidentally loves Peaches. So, but was very close with both of our fallen comrades. Mm-hmm. And so I say, okay, take it away, Peaches. And Peaches lets out a blood-curdling squawk, I guess is the best term for it. And Tyrannic is so moved and teared up by that, he can't say anything. It's just, wow, that was beautiful. And I think he will do a little miracle around their area to produce some lovely flowers growing up.
All right. So now around the base of this kind of monolith of the fallen, there are now flowers from the living lands that kind of grow up around them. However, standing next to Tyrannic, which is this a dino, so you can see his art right next to Michael's box, stands the chromed wonder known as Geneviève. Geneviève, would you like to introduce yourself, your character, your favorite moment, or your most memorable moment, and then anything you would like to eulogize?
Yes, Geneviève is from the Cyber Papacy. She is a hacker and a smuggler. And at this point, it's probably a good 50-50 split of organic versus cybernetic. Mm-hmm. Favorite moment thus far would probably be going into the cur with Stuffy Tyrannic.
Oh man, that was great.
And Tharkold Barbie, and you were a Cabbage Patch, yes, Edith? Like a hardcore Cabbage Patch? Yeah. So that's probably a highlight.
Okay.
And then for Lady Salvo and Anton, I don't know that V is good at you Googling.
Googling?
Googling.
I'm a Googleist.
You Googleist. But she will this sounds so lame, but I feel like it's very V. Etch some kind of small barcode or QR code next to them, and then if you scan it, it will have like their best moments. So like a photo of them, but it's not necessarily easy to see, but if you like get up close and know what you're looking for, it's there.
Awesome.
So
That
is how she will you Google them.
And then on Tyrannic's left, the woman, the myth, the legend, Edith, if you would like to introduce yourself.
I am Edith, the monster hunter of, I know the name of my,
Orosh.
Orosh, yes. Oh yeah, we just left there. It was terrible.
5 stars would not recommend.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 would not go back. I've apparently gotten soft while out in the non-Orosian cosmos, so that's great. But I am still wearing a vampire skin duster that does not sparkle and is now trimmed with werewolf fur because, you know, what else are you going to wear?
That's fair.
Amazing.
Anything you would like to add to the eulogy before we move on? All right.
To both Anton and Lady Salvo, I deeply appreciate your sacrifices. We would want to avenge your deaths, but you've already avenged your own by taking out the Nightmare and Kalapanai. So all we can do is honor your memories by continuing the good work.
So, you guys are now in Pan Pacifica. So, for those of you who may be new to Torg Eternity, the idea is that Earth was invaded, an Earth adjacent to ours, an Earth of more drama, more action. The example that I continually go back to is, it's an Earth where Die Hard is a documentary and not an action movie. It was invaded by these 7 cosms, these other realities that overlaid portions of our world, and strip mines the hope and the possibility from the ordinary people of Core Earth. The players in this game, they represent this very unique, specialized type of hero who carries their own reality with them wherever they go. Generally, anyone who can do that is called a Stormer. Those who fight on the side of the Delphi Council to free Earth from these High Lords, these rulers of these cosms who invaded Earth, are known as Storm Knights. And so we've got definitely 4 Storm Knights and a Lapis. We'll get to that in a second, but I'd like to kind of just give you an overview of Pan Pacifica, this new cosm that you are in. So, first of all, you should know it's a very low magic cosm. The magic axiom is 4.
Wow.
The spirit axiom for miracles is 8. So, like, not a whole lot of magic or spirit or like faith-based actions going on here. However, its social and its tech axiom are both 24, which means when the tech axiom gets that high, expect a lot of psionics. Or when the social aspect gets that high, expect a lot of psionics. Tech-wise, V is going to be in her element. Ultra-fast internet, very cyberpunk. If you guys watched the one-shot that we did last week, it was a run, like a shadow run against a corporation subsidiary. Genetic modifications. It is set in sort of Southeast Asia, so there's this dichotomy between the past and the future. So you have a lot of like bleeding edge technology, again, hacking, internet, electric samurai, which are samurai in power armor with electrified katanas, as well as kind of the resurgence of sort of the more traditional ways of breath and spirit and faith. So there's this very high-tech ancient dichotomy that's going through here. The corporations rule everything. And as you all know, every cosm has its own laws. These are world laws that are reinforcing the themes of this cosm. And so here are the laws of this world, you may want to write these, so you are all writing this down. If you're at home, just note that my players are writing it down. The first is the Law of Intrigue. All right? This means nothing will ever be as it seems. In fact, the fact that the Storm Knights can always trust that the Delphi Council will never burn or betray them can be called into question in Pan Pacifica, where everything is a conspiracy. In this case, what you need to know is any perception-based tests, or sorry, any persuasion-based tests based on deception are automatically favored. If you're trying to persuade someone by lying to them, it is favored. Also, any mind reading, mind control, or memory alteration ability, which if you don't have these, you don't need to write them down. Their range is reduced to touch, which makes it harder to detect, and those tests take a -4 penalty. There is the Law of Tenacity, which is sort of the opposite of the Law of Perseverance in Orosh. Whenever you would normally be KO'd, so if your shock hits 0, you can instead take a wound and recover all of your shock. Also, if that wound is your last, you don't actually test for defeat until the following turn. So you can literally basically buy yourself one turn by taking a wound, getting all of your shock back, and then testing for defeat on the next turn.
Okay.
There is the Law of Rationalism, which is it replaced, if you're following along in the core Torg rules, there was the Law of Vengeance that has been replaced by the Law of Rationalism, kind of a response to the supernatural abilities that people are displaying. Those are all based off of the cards. There's a couple of other minor ones that we'll get into if it comes into play. But any questions so far on the Cosm?
And I'm sorry, what was the Law of Rationalism? Did you say?
It basically is that science and rationalization will overcome superstitious fear. So, as you stand here waiting for Maru, an electric samurai and a member of the Delphi Council, we're going to introduce our two newest additions to the Horsemen. Also, a big thank you to Rook, who has donated subs to the chat. Thank you, Rook. Thank you to all of our new subs. Also, Phantom, good to see you. Good, bad, you're the girl with the gun, is what he says about Lapis. Good to see Certified Torganic and Zero Earth Element as always. Alice, hello. Mr. Furious, good to see you. It was great to have you in that game last week. So we're going to start with Simeon. Yes? Okay, sweet. I got his name right for the first time. I always confused the way, like, I always felt like it should have a P, and then I kept going to Simon from, like, DC Comics, and that was just... So, Simeon, go ahead and introduce your character. We haven't seen you since the ill-fated Tharcold expedition at the end of the Eternity Shards, but go ahead and tell us who you are, and go from there.
So I am Simeon. Let's see, I have... like mad science tech all about me. You know, I have a pauldron that has, you know, gems in it that have power. I have a brazier that you know, could shoot shock, a shock attack and stuff like that. You know, I'm you know, all about you know, science and trying to figure out, you know, how the world works, how these cosms are impressing themselves upon our.
And
on
you're
our
from
Earth.
you're from the Nile
I'm
Empire.
from the Nile Empire.
So you're like a pulp super
yep.
scientist.
Right. So, but yeah, I like to kind of, you know, MacGyver my way out of that.
That's right.
You know, just make ad hoc, ad hoc devices, you know, using science. So.
Science.
Very cool. I'm glad to have you back at the table. And Greg pointed out a really great part. One of the minor rule laws of Pan Pacifica is the law of acquisition. It actually allows the High Lord of Pan Pacifica to change the world laws as the story progresses. So just,
Watch out.
watch out.
Cool.
Well, John, I'm glad to have Simon back here. I'd ask what your
Simeon.
Simeon. Dang it, I did it again. Simeon. I'm gonna have to write this down. I would ask what your favorite moment from the Eternity Shards campaign, but I think you played in like 3 sessions before we. Do you have one?
I remember fashioning a kind of a helmet out of like a colander and like my walkie-talkie devices in order to hone in on the I did not know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
And
Welcome to Torg.
but yeah, that was an experience. And I jumped into that world and it attacked me back. So
I'm glad to have you back here, John. Now, I feel like, does Lapis really need an introduction? I'm sure that a lot of people, including Restar,
Are
have
so
very
happy
strong feelings about
to
Lapis
see
returning to the game.
Back. Just thrilled. I'm here to help.
Zero Earth Element said it's not science, it's science! And then Restar definitely said that it blinded him. So, Becca, why don't you introduce your character, who I can only assume in this little garden where this thing is, like, all of the horsemen are on one side of the garden.
I am very much standing by myself.
And Lapis is by herself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely standing by myself. Lapis is from the Nile Empire. She was a storm knight and worked with her team in order to stop Dr. Mobius and his evil henchmen, including the Frenchman, but who ended up killing one of her teammates. And then she
Kage, yeah.
Kage. Lapis had sacrificed herself to let her team get away, and they never came back for her. And I can already see Archibald shaking his fist in anger towards that, but whatever. We all believe our own story. And yeah, since I was rescued, and I have a feeling I have no choice in the matter, I am here to help you in any way that I possibly can.
Sure, that seems
Sure, yeah.
reasonable. Why would anybody doubt you?
And yes, I remember you.
You remember? Okay.
I remember you now. Mhm.
You remember the helicopter?
I
Okay.
do remember that helicopter. Yeah, you and
now,
your
when we were in the prison, were we sharing a cell?
No, you were sharing a cell with Archibald Peacock and with Speckles.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, you discovered Lapis was there only when you were free. So as you all stand there, Maru enters the garden, and Maru is an electric samurai, so high-tech version of kind of the ancient samurai armor, katana at her side. You can see the power pack that's attached to it. And she's like, and she comes in and she has the biggest grin on her face. White hair, left eye covered by an eye patch. Yep, that's her. If she's most likely on most of your Cosm cards.
Cool.
Horsemen, yes? Welcome to my little sanctuary here in Shanghai. I have wonderful news. The Delphi Council, in sort of preparation for your arrival here, had heard that the Nanjing Corporation, a subsidiary of the main corporation that seems to dominate all of the Kanawa Corporation, they had received a shipment paid for by anonymous donors in Russia and France, and a small group of operatives known as Bureau G attacked and infiltrated, I should say, the Nanjing Corporation, and they recovered. And there are two other people kind of come in. They're fraternal twins, but they look almost identical. brother on Maru's right, sister on Maru's left, and they're holding out trays. And on them you can see that there are several items, several of which Tyrannic and Lapis should immediately recognize. Simeon, yeah? Yeah! JM gets a possibility. Every time I get his name right.
What? So every time I get his name right, I get a possibility.
No, that's not how that works.
That's a low bar.
It is a low bar, but you know what? I'm the guy sitting on the side of the screen.
We're talking.
So, Simeon, you would recognize some of these as well because you saw them briefly before everything went pear-shaped in Moscow. On the right tray, there is a strange Egyptian, almost Eye of Horus with wings necklace. There is the blade with no hilt or crosspiece of a sword, and there is a small locket on that tray. On the tray next to it is a very old book wrapped in kind of oilcloth that sticks kind of obscenely to the book, almost as if you were to peel away this oilcloth, whatever, it's not oil, it's going to be very viscous, whatever it is attached to the book. And Maru says, and I have it on good authority that the B team has recovered and she kind of looks at Lapis and looks at Tyrannic. They recovered something from the living land.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, Bureau G forever. We have decoded. Lapis, you have been sanctioned in this endeavor due to your actions on Kalapanai, but I'm putting V and Edith sort of in charge of you as wardens until we can be certain of your allegiances, but I know that you have been deep within the enemy's camp. I believe you know about the Hanzhou blade.
Yes.
Do you wish to share, or shall I continue the briefing?
You may continue.
As you may all know, these eternity shards were found by Archibald's squad of Storm Knights, of which Lapis was one before the events of last year. This map that was found in the Nile Empire led to several places across the globe, different pieces of what we are not sure. We believe it is a weapon. It was called the key to sealing the darkness. I'm not sure if our translation is right or not, but we have uncovered several pieces of the map. There are two remaining that we have yet to locate. That is why Lapis is here. I believe that Volkov is looking for this as well, having to do something with, I've read, she gets this kind of distasteful, your reports on Grigori, if they can be called such.
Tyrannic winks at her.
Your involved, I will say, Horseman, I am, although Sebastian Quinn speaks quite highly of you, I find some of your connections to those who have allegiances to the High Lords. Looking right at the two of you with her one eye.
And we look at each
That's
other
right.
too.
Yep. Maybe you're not so bad.
I will just, as an aside, I really enjoyed Auditor 17 from last game. Like, he was a delight, and I think the reason that run went so successfully, because every time somebody was like, I want to blow it up or shoot it or jump a bike over it. Auditor 17 was like, let's do that. But
After.
stealthily. Wow. We still have no leads on the piece from France. But in this region of the world, during something that they call the Second World War, a sword went missing. This sword was crafted by a priest by the name of Goro Musashi. This sword is known as the Hanzhou. It was a symbol of the empire, the shogunate, during a place called, or a time called the Edo period. It went missing after this war, and very few people know where it went. I have it on good authority that it was sold to a collector in Shanghai not long before the day one of the invasions. If I know Volkov, Lapis has helped him assemble his own units of stormers, much like the Delphi Council assembles groups of storm knights like yourselves. If they don't have the Hanzhou sword, you can bet they are looking for it. We have information from Auditor 17, one of the members of Bureau G, that there was a large influx of cash to the Nanjing Corporation for the research on these from Russia, which, as you know, Grigory Rasputin is involved with Volkov there. And from an anonymous donation of several $1 million from the cyber papacy, I believe that much of this money is going to searching for this blade. I do not know what we need from it. You'll know it when you find it. Because again, as they're standing there, remember, eternity shards have this red and blue lightning that kind of plays on them. They slowly have turned into these red and blue items, these artifacts of such great possibility potential that they sort of anchor reality around them. I do not know what is going on or why these are important, but Quinn has said, we find this sword, so we sent you out to find this sword. You let me know what you need. She pointedly turns away from Lapis. The resources of the Delphi Council and Pan Pacifica are yours.
So you said the last lead that you had was it was sold to a collector in Shanghai?
It was. I have her name, if you would like it.
Yes, please.
What else do you need?
We're not in Shanghai right now. correct?
You are in Shanghai right now. That's
Oh.
where your coalescence was.
Got it. I mean, possibly transportation.
I would like my weapons.
Your weapons will be returned to you when you leave this place.
Excellent. And grenades into my walkie-talkie and binoculars.
All of your gear will be.
Excellent. Not that I haven't appreciated the hospitality here.
Yu Shen is the name.
Do we have any allies with the triads or local groups in the area?
I can provide introductions.
What's the public transportation situation like in
Slick.
Sweet? So we don't need to worry about transport.
Nope. Maru does let you know that if you need to, she can provide you with motorcycles.
Yes, just looking to see like I have the ability to ride.
Anybody got
motorcycles.
land vehicles?
I got air vehicles.
Nope.
Sweet.
Yep.
I think I did put land.
Quick white to the horseman standing on the bus.
It's very timely, I will say.
Yes.
I have no doubt about that.
Just not. I'll just have to make sure that the bus, is set to explode if it drops below. I don't know. Let's just pick an arbitrary number, 60 miles an hour. That'll make it tense, right?
That's right.
That's when we just get off.
Yeah.
I am going to ask for Tyrannic's cell phone back and just ask if she has any updates or upgrades.
Yes,
for
I
our
can
devices.
provide you all with.
And whatever she gives,
Transportation is by
I'm
train.
definitely
Yeah,
going to make
right.
sure it's not bugged or whatever before I hand
Yeah, she will provide you all with Zuzus, which are the bleeding edge smartphones that everyone in Pan Pacifica uses. Now,
I'm probably gonna need 2 because I'm gonna take one apart.
this is your one. If you take it apart, put it back together the way you found it.
I can do that.
Now, what you do know about, unlike the cyber papacy, because of the sheer paranoia due to the Law of Intrigue, there's a lot of hacking that goes on in Pan Pacifica, but the most sensitive information is always kept on landlocked servers. So to really get at the corporate data, you need to be inside the building. They do not have those servers connected to the outside. Oh, hey, Theo has land vehicles. We can bring a B team member in to chauffeur you guys around.
Yeah, I will still, when she's not around, I will still just, you told me not to trust anyone here, so I'm not trusting anyone here. And just sweep the phones and make sure there's nothing in there that we don't want.
Give me a computers roll. Restar is saying that, cyber papacy tech is better. I think your tech axiom goes all the way to 11. I mean 26.
I rolled a 14, but that still gets me to 17.
All right, with a 17, there are kind of location services are turned on, and they also have they do have a very slick piece of programming that seems to be put in there that allows whoever put the program on there to turn the phones on to listen. You're not sure you can turn it off with a 6 or with a 17. Oh, okay. We're just gonna blow that up right now, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that gets me to 25, which is 8. So 16 and 8, 22? 24. Becca's is 24.
It's good to have Becca back.
It's been a rough week. I need some help
That's
with
right.
the math.
Becca definitely paid for the lightning calculator advantage when building her character in
Yes.
utero.
In utero.
So, I was convinced for the longest time that God's playing GURPS, but I'm
Maybe
hoping.
so.
Instead of turning it off, can I turn it so if they ever turn it on, they just get the best of show tunes?
Not with a 20. So with a 24, you have a good success.
Okay.
So you can turn it off. You can't mess with it yet. You need an outstanding success. And sure, Grey March, welcome to the channel. And yeah, they could totally use a connection card to bring in a B team person. I think that would be delightful. We'll see if we can make that happen if anybody has the connection card. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so you want the bus. You want your weapons when you leave. What does anyone else want?
Now, do I need to roll to see if the thing still works when I put the thing back together?
If you are taking it apart now, yes, I will need a science roll from you. What?
No, I needed to be able to find you when you get kidnapped.
Maddie has picked up on a reoccurring theme in my games.
So it's 0 on the bonus chart,
John
but
gets
my
kicked.
Talk
science
to
is
people.
my science is 17.
Easier to get
Okay.
distracted.
17.
Okay, yeah, you can put it back together. It is
Did I?
wildly beyond anything you have ever seen. It took you about a half hour to find the screws. It's like an Apple product. Edith, Tyrannic, is there anything you guys want? Because you can see, like, Simeon is definitely pulling apart this phone with V going, "Stop it!" No, that goes.
I'm making it better.
I don't think you are.
Tyrannic has already scratched his screen up pretty bad, so he is not a fan.
You're
of
trying to.
I really don't need you to use it. I just need you to keep it on your person.
Okay, gotcha.
Charge it every night, you know.
Yeah, he was looking for solitaire, you know.
Those little touch screens don't work so well.
With your claws,
the
yeah.
claws.
And when you're cold-blooded.
That's right. It's really Peaches who keeps kind of helping him.
That's right.
Edith, what about you?
In terms of resources,
Yeah.
So they've already told us what they know about this artifact that they want us to recover.
Yes. And finding the Hanzhou blade will be kind of the mystery, if you will.
The mystery. Do they have any likely suspects? There's got to be some factions here, right?
Yes, so they did let you know that they know the person who last on record had this thing, Yu Shen. They also let you know that, here's the thing. The Kanoa Corporation is everywhere. Its subsidiaries are everywhere. It is such a mega corporation, which kind of like, there are a lot of cases of the subsidiaries of this corporation working against each other. Like, left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing and is actively opposed by hands 5, 6, and 9. So it is this sprawling network of interconnected corporations and personnel. So there's a lot of factions, but really everything eventually funnels back up to this mega corporation.
Okay. I don't know what else I should ask right now, so I think I'm good.
That is totally fine. There isn't like a dark underbelly to Pan Pacifica, as Michael brought up. There are triads. There are street gangs. There are groups called the Electric Samurai, who are basically people who get power armor and electric swords and go out to like right wrongs. There are street gangs that race against each other and pull off heists, a la that one movie franchise.
Are they furious and fast?
They are definitely furious that I cannot mention them more. But we're going to quickly move past that. So, like, again, think, right, there are genetic mutations, there are genetic modifications. This is Johnny Mnemonic, The Matrix, Pacific Rim, The Best of William Gibson, like keep those in mind as we're moving through this new cosm. Snow Crash, yeah. Hero protagonist is definitely out there somewhere. I love you, Gibson, but that was a really funny name. Just gonna toss that out there. Okay, so with that, Mardu says, I will keep these eternity shards here. If you need to reference them, if you need to look at them, if you need them for anything. Not you, the rest of you. You let me know. They will be secured. And she turns around and the two twins kind of move in and the three of them leave the garden. Now you have a safe house here, okay? Maru's place is generally a place you can come back and rest, you can recuperate. I know it's been a while since you guys had anything that resembled a safe house, so I figured I would put it out there front and center.
This is like a beach episode.
It's like a beach episode.
This house isn't safe.
You guys definitely had a nice relaxing respite on the beach.
Oh, shoot, did she give us directions to where this lady lives? I meant to ask.
She tosses it to your Zuzu.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
pop up on like a map.
Did she pin it on the map?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
hang it on the map.
she pinned it on the map for you.
Cool. My text 20. I can figure this out.
I didn't say you couldn't. I just.
We were all thinking it though.
Yeah. No, it's not. So the gears whirling.
Literally.
Do we want to scope this place out? Do we want to just go straight to her and talk to her? What do we think is the best plan of action?
Don't get me, I am just the GM.
Do I get to say this?
Yes?
I mean, I think it would be foolish to just jump straight in without researching anything. So, you know,
So we don't
maybe.
even know what kind of fellow this, or do we even know if it's a male or a female, or?
You have no image of this person.
So, you know, maybe some stealthier reconnaissance.
Is Tyrannic going to face the same kind of persecution that he's faced everywhere?
I'm glad that you asked. No, and mainly that's because
We just gotta get some reflective paint and like.
Yeah.
Mr. Furious, you can have a possibility. He
Well,
said none of
glitter.
JM's safe houses are safe ever. So there's also, just so you guys know, what are known as the Ghost Syndicates. These are the organized crime families that have kind of reorganized in the face of the invasion of Pan Pacifica. So you know, any of you know, the local underworld, the criminal activities, gangs, that sort of thing, they're all kind of ubiquitously referred to as the Ghost Syndicates, and they're still different organizations, but
Yeah, would like UV glitter help? Because I have some glitter.
Yeah.
We could just.
Can I get a really cool samurai mask?
so here's the thing, you will not face as much persecution here as you did sort of in Tharcold, where they were like, oh god, it's a techno demon, kill it, or in Orosh, where they were like, oh god, it's a nightmare, kill it. In here, with all of the gene mods that go on, people would be like, man, I wouldn't have made that life decision.
Okay. Good news.
But
Yeah.
you still
You do
want
you.
glitter.
That's right, right? It's
Some glitter.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
it's sort of like when you see someone with like full neck and like face ink, and you're like,
Yeah.
huh, it's really cool.
Okay.
May not have been my choice. People look at you and they're like, why would anyone do that? Whatever.
And the pet pterodactyl, he's fine.
The pet pterodactyl, they'll probably just assume as a robot of some sort.
Okay.
A drone.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, just keep in mind, lots of robotics here in. So whereas the cyber papacy has transitioned into basically hard light holograms, Pan Pacifica is still kind of, they're still bound to, you know, like advanced robotics and genetic technology.
Edith, do we want to take like 5 minutes and glitter up our boy Tyrannic so that he looks?
Vampires don't sparkle, but Tyrannic is about
Tyrannic's
to.
about to.
Hashtag Mr. Furious.
That's great. Okay.
You're like, just don't eat it.
Too late.
I mean,
I'm gonna try to figure out
you'll see it again.
if I can find any information with this newfangled device.
Yeah.
Find
What are you looking for?
well, this,
Basic Google
about
search.
see if this name, the Yoshin,
Yushin. All right, give me a computers roll.
Let's see, is that based on
It's mind.
mind?
Yes, do you have, and you have no ads in it, right?
I don't have no ads.
Okay, so when you roll this, 20s will not explode for you.
Oof.
2 is bad, but it's not a. Well, 2 is the roll, so -8. No, I.
What are you trying to do over there?
So with
Hey,
a 2,
breakfast.
you're at -8. What's your mind?
12.
So you got a 4. So as you're messing with this, eventually you get a screen that says power off or SOS. Those are the only 2 buttons on the
Yeah.
screen.
Sauce. Power sauce. What's power sauce?
When he asks that, that's really when you can jump in on this.
What are you trying to do?
Trying to find any information about this Yushin.
On the internet? So I will assist. So do you want me to roll or do you want...
Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a new roll. You know not to hit sauce.
But I'm going to show him what I'm doing as I do it. So if he wants to do it in the future, he can. Okay, that's not bad. 21.
So a 21, you find out that the pin is actually in a place called the Shanghai Antiquities Market. It is a downtown, or it is a place in kind of the main area of Shanghai, where a number of different antiquities shops are set up. And what you find out is that you is the, use
I do this in an incognito browser.
in an incognito browser with a 20 whatever. I'm sure you're covering your tracks.
Sorry, you.
No, that's fine. She runs a shop that has been around for several hundred years, known as the Yunzhao Curio City. It is a kind of a very large actual market. Like, it's inside a building, and she rents out stalls to people inside, but actually has her own private collection that is only available to view basically once a month by invitation only.
How do you spell Yushin?
It's Y-U-E and Shen, C-H-E-N.
Yue-chan. Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
Invitation.
I'm going to rely on Becca for accurate pronunciations. Yue, perfect.
So I assume you tell us to us.
Yes.
I offer. Would you like me to write a letter to her requesting an invitation?
I mean, we can consider...
I'm pretty sure didn't Edith and V help you write your response to?
But it was really good though.
it was really good.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Russia, a man with a very long, scraggly beard pulls out a crumpled note and holds it to his heart as he prepares for the next ritual of unbinding.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we need to see if we can get in for the private collection.
So when you did all that research on the phone, not using quotations.
I hear them.
I know.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Would you be able to pull up any police reports of unusual behavior in that area. Perhaps if other people are aware of her collection, they have done something shady.
I can try. Would that roll standard, or do I need to roll again?
And
Police
I
reports.
apologize, I was interacting with the chat.
If I wanted to see if I could pull up police reports for the area.
Sure.
Would that sit on the same roll, or do you want me to roll again?
I'm gonna have you roll again, one more time.
Would it help with my profession of detective or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to, do you want to just, you can just give her a straight +1
Okay.
by helping.
Okay.
Or you can roll to try and get a better success to give her more of a bonus.
Maybe I'll try rolling.
There you go.
Switch
Why
this
not?
out
Get some dice out.
for my well-loved
Oh.
and bookmarked copy.
Unfortunately, I didn't throw that at me because that was terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right. So that gets me
You
to
guys know
15.
it's a great night when you're already just tossing possibilities.
Well, I rolled 2 6s, so I'm gonna spend the possibility. Great. So 16 is +3, and then you're adding what?
What'd you get?
I got a 15 total.
You will get a +2 to that.
So add 5, so 21 again.
All right, you are now into the police reports of that area, and
Look at that.
what are you looking for?
Stop.
I mean, I will steer. I will let Lapis drive. She seems to know more of what she's looking for.
Okay.
I will keep in mind actions that might ping my radar as a smuggler of actions that folks might do, drop spots, marks, but you're the detective,
Mhm.
so.
I mean, I'm curious if there is any police activity within this market, or if it's like an empty hole. Because if
No, there's
is-
a ton of corporate security that patrol this whole antiquities market,
Okay.
not just the specific one you're looking at. What you also can tell is that, well, it depends. The response time is anywhere from 36 seconds to about 12 minutes, depending on who's paying for what protection.
Okay. Which ones are the 30 seconds?
The Yunzhao is definitely a 30-second response time. Some of the more colorful locations are closer to like just a block and a half away,
Mhm.
have an average response time of 10 plus minutes.
Okay.
Bureau G. Sorry, chat's talking about Bureau G. It was a lot of fun. If you have not checked out our Bureau G one shot from last week, please do so.
And just like recently, has it been shoplifters? Has it been arson? Has it been?
The last there's a staggering amount of petty theft. But the big thing was last week there was a corporate raid that burned down nearly a full city block, and then corporate security imploded the buildings in that block, and it has basically been razed and is still under blackout.
Okay.
It's about 4 blocks from where you're headed.
Okay. So we're gonna find some real sketchy stuff there. You know, people who can help get us in.
Edith, you see V buddying up to Lapis. Tyrannic, Edith, and Simeon, what are you guys? I think the problem is that I see Simeon and I think like Gorilla Grodd. I don't think like pulp scientist. I will fix this in my brain. Somewhere I will find that misfire. What are you guys doing while they're doing all of this research?
I think you said you have jewels on your arm. I think Tyrannic is pretty impressed.
Well, they're
with his
little
jewels.
power crystals, yeah. But,
Well, jewels, yeah. So, so I think I'm like touching them and staying in space.
be careful with that, you'll shock yourself.
Okay.
What else? What else is? We're in a safe house, right? So
Yes.
what else is in the safe house?
So if you go exploring,
Yeah.
Edith, what you discover is there are this place is a small 7-story building, kind of built around this. It kind of frames this little garden area. The building's security. I'm trying to think about all the places that Edith has been. Remember that penthouse in New York that you had to break into?
The one with the elf?
Yep. You could have broken into that place compared to the security on this place. There's like all of the windows are tinted. They've got control panels that allow you to light. You can see that they have roll cages that will drop down. There are several elevators through the place. You notice that there are several other storm knights like holed up here. There is a cafeteria with about 4 or 5 on-staff chefs here. There is something called the motor pool. You keep saying it on the elevators, and there is an armory. You guys have been assigned each individual rooms. The rooms have kind of a sitting area, several strange, like what look like picture frames, but they don't show anything unless you turn them on, and then they show a bunch of different things. Bed, restroom, small, like little kitchen, not like a full kitchen, just something to kind of reheat things, and a fully stocked wet bar.
There's.
Okay, stupid question. What happens if Tyrannic goes and gets a samurai sword? Do I have to make a reality roll or anything like that? No.
Do you want to try and get one from the armory?
I think so, yeah.
Do it.
You want a katana?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want Tyrannic to have a katana.
Yeah.
I think in this case we push it to the chat and see if they.
I think Edith needs a katana.
Where's Ross
too.
when we need him?
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
can everyone get a katana?
So
Ooh,
a
Edith, can we get
regular
more crossbow bolts?
katana
Uh-huh.
is a tech axiom 12. What's your personal tech axiom?
6.
Okay, so what this means is if you roll a 1,
Okay.
there is a chance that you will disconnect because you're using something that is a tech axiom higher than yours, but not higher than the world's.
Okay.
And it does strength plus
Have an
3
eight.
damage.
Oh, sure.
I could have a katana.
Yeah.
Get one, Edith.
Yeah, let's
Edith,
do it.
get a bunch of fancy bolts and a katana.
Just katanas for all.
You
Yeah.
could just, oh my
I mean,
gosh,
sure.
you could like shing, and you'd be so BA. Oh my gosh.
There are not a lot, as Grey March points out, there are not a lot. There's not a katana for everyone in this armory in Shanghai. You are in China, not in Japan. But there are enough to requisition because electric samurai are sort of ubiquitous throughout Pan Pacifica.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll there are 4
Okay.
in the armory.
So not for both.
There are no electric ones though. Like that you
Oh.
actually have to purchase.
Bummer.
Or, kill someone.
Okay.
Here's a weird question. Is there anything I can
This is
do?
your weird question? Like now we hit a weird question?
Well, I mean, weird for me.
Okay.
In my mind. Is there anything I can do to tweak my gut light laser, or is it just?
If you're in the cyber papacy, you could definitely tweak it. Or if you find some bleeding edge tech here in Pan Pacifica, I may allow that as well. But like just tinkering on your own, not a whole lot at this point.
Okay. That's just wondering.
Sure. I think Edith and I high five as soon as we get our katana.
I do not actually want a katana because I think it's going to get in the way. But I'm just saying I could have.
Edith, I will just point out that there is a great new talent that you should look into.
Ooh.
Called Trenchcoat Warfare, where no matter what cosm you're in, you always have guns under your Monster Hunter duster that you can just keep pulling out, firing, throwing away, and pulling out bigger guns, firing them, throwing them away. We'll chat after the game.
Do it.
All right, so what is Requisition the Sword of Destiny? So you guys have done some research. You've explored the facilities. what's the plan here?
What do you think, Edith? Do we go wander through this market? Do we pick a building nearby and recon?
So I think if we go through the market, we can do recon. But I mean, I don't think going as like en masse would be. I think that's going to draw attention that we don't necessarily want.
Yeah, 1s and 2s. That's fine.
Edith, do you want to hold Lapis's hand?
No. It's cool. I can go by myself.
Or not? It's not,
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, how do you feel
Man.
about that?
I didn't do anything in the paranoia.
En masse it is.
No. Edith, if you want to pair up with me, that's fine. V, Jean-Vieve. What do you prefer to be called? V. It's fine.
Anyone but tyrannic, so you don't get thrown out of another moving vehicle.
Yeah, right. We're not going together.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do, and I don't know how he died.
Yes.
It's weird.
Yes.
So
There was death.
weird. Okay, well, there's a pair. Do you gentlemen want to go together?
Sure.
I love that we're like buddying
Yeah.
up.
Alamo is like, don't let Lapis go anywhere alone. Alright, so how are you guys splitting up to do recon
So,
through this antiquity
so is it going to be
market?
like Edith, V, and Lapis?
Yeah, ladies and dudes.
Ladies and dudes, all right. Nice.
Yeah, the monster hunter, the superhero / villain, and the cyborg. That's not going to be noticeable at all.
I have a hood.
It's time for shopping.
Oh yeah, girls trip. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah, no, we'll split up and I mean, we don't have to be on top of each other, but yeah,
No.
we're gonna go explore. We're going shopping. We're going antiquing.
Yeah.
Antique.
Torg, Antique Roadshow Edition.
Where's Trisha?
So does everyone have their exit buddy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Alright, so as you guys take the bus
Take the bus.
to...
Why can't we ride the motorcycles? Do we have to have land vehicles to ride the motorcycles?
I mean, I have 6 unspent XP. I can ride a motorcycle.
Or we just have to have land vehicles if we want to do something cool on the motorcycle.
If at any point, hypothetical situation, in a highly advanced Shadowrunny style cyberpunk cosm, that a motorcycle chase scene were to break out, you may want to have some points in land vehicles.
Sure.
Edith has personally crashed a couple of land vehicles because it is quite challenging. So
It is a dex roll if you do not have it, and if you can do it untrained, you just need to have your 20s will not explode.
My dex is not high.
I got a decent text. But if my wardens are taking the bus, I guess I'm also taking the bus.
Your wardens.
We're supporting public transportation.
I like how, yeah.
Yep.
So we have our little bus cards that we swipe.
I do feel like this is the most anticlimactic start to any of our
Yeah,
Torg
do we have
adventures.
something to boot? Like, did she give us like monthly bus passes? or
Sure,
something?
she gave you guys all bus passes. Alright, so we're gonna,
Bus passes.
the bus's air brakes squeal and you all kind of file off.
Does anyone like?
Next to like a group of school children
was
who
gonna
are
say,
downtown
can-
for some sort
Can
of,
I amend
field
this
trip.
and say that, like, as we were on the bus, like, Lapis is like standing there, cross-armed, like, muttering to herself about this because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just put my hoodie up and probably look kind of like a preteen.
I'm just gonna be honest, like, when you were a supervillain, you had tons of cool vehicles.
I did.
Now as a hero, you're relegated to the bus.
I know, and there's a lot of muttering about this.
But the market is spread out before you. It's both indoor and outdoor. You can see that there are signs that kind of demark where this actual market is. There's a large central concrete building that is just covered in neon lights, digital tags. So like, augmented reality tags. smart paint that changes its shape and its color as it kind of moves through kind of this art cycle.
Question. When our mom pinned our bus passes to our jackets, did she also pin some spending money if we needed it?
So you do have on your phones. That's where the passes are. You have. You don't have like you guys have a group fund of about 5,000 credits.
Okay, I just want to make sure, like, if we're going to a market
Yeah.
to buy things or look like we're buying things, we have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Pinned with our bus passes.
No, it's on your Zuzu.
Great. Cool.
So tons of stalls outside. You can see there are always people moving through the crowds that to all of your eyes you're like, that's a little shady. There are calls out for people who, pickpockets, stall thieves, that sort of thing. You can see several large groups of people in very sharp suits and mirrored shades, and people are getting the bleep out of their way. You guys know from your bit of research, Lapis and V, that UA's personal market is inside the building. It's on the second floor, and it is heavily guarded because it's her personal collection. When you head into the larger market, that's kind of where you're going to find different individual shops, stalls, and vendors.
If it's okay with my friends, can we find phone cases?
Sure. I was gonna look for some street meats. Some, like, snacks to munch on.
All right, so you.
And then I also want to get a Chinese language app going on my phone so I can ask the stall keepers things.
Okay. So as you guys head in, what's
Dudes,
kind
what
of
do you
the?
wanna do?
Yeah, we'll start with the dudes because that
Dudes.
was.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably distracted a lot by like the augmented reality things, and I'm trying to figure out how they work and yeah.
Okay, so you're spending your time kind of distracted.
Right.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a find roll. What about you, Tyrannic?
Peaches has already eaten several pieces of street meat, so
Okay.
I'm trying to deal with that, I think.
Pay them for the meat he's stolen.
Or did you literally just eat meat off of the street?
Oh no!
A
Did
little
he?
column A, a little column
little
B.
column
Are
B.
you also having to make sure he didn't like swallow the skewer? Cause
Yeah.
it
Right,
I'm with
has
you,
its
Mr.
own
Furious.
skewers. So then you've got just a horking pterodactyl.
Yes.
16.
16? All right, as you kind of look around, you can see that there does seem to be some sort of rhyme or reason to these AR interactions. Like, they're promoting a ton of new technology that is being rolled out by a number of different corporations. So you see, the latest Zuzu upgrades. You see, gene mods. Come down, put yourself in a new body, kind of a thing. You see, the latest street racing modifications. Come down to this stall 2 blocks away, and we will upgrade your bike or your car with the latest upgrades, that kind of thing. So they're really just kind of speaking to kind of the corporate nature of Pan Pacifica, and the fact that you definitely, as you watch this a little bit, Simeon, you get the feeling that, at least from the ads, you are actually the commodity.
I become what?
You personally are the commodity that they're targeting.
Gotcha.
You're
They
not
want
you're not
me.
good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not smart enough, you're not happy enough. But
Oh,
gosh
come
darn
on
it,
now.
if
I'm not smart enough.
that's what you definitely get that feeling from the ads. There are gene mods to increase intelligence. But if you just get this latest upgrade, then Simeon, then you'll be happy. Ladies,
You said you wanted a phone case.
Yeah, I'm looking for a phone case, particularly one that will then clip my phone to me, so
just
that.
assume that you have that. Right?
Well, in the process of looking,
Okay.
I want to ask the people in the stalls about different things.
Okay.
I want to ask about, like, you know, which stall has the best antiques, and of course, and so I'm asking the phone case people because they don't have antiques, so I'm not insulting them. Like, yeah, who has the best antiques?
So this whole market's antiques. So like you'd have to actually find someone to get, like, if you're actually looking for like phone cases, that's not really what this market is.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So that's why I was like, you could just have
Okay.
something. But if you want to ask around, go ahead and give me an evidence analysis roll.
Evidence analysis. Okay, what would that be under?
Mind.
A mind.
Okay. I don't have evidence analysis.
Oh,
I
well.
can assist you. Would you like assistance?
Of course.
Edith,
We're
go
in
ahead
this
and give me
together.
a find roll as you're looking around too.
Ooh. You get +6. That was a 19.
Nice. It's a 20.
A 20. All right, I'm gonna
I'm
come.
fine.
You find all the things you do. I'll be right back to you.
19.
So what they tell you is that if you're looking for, like, it depends on what kind of antiques you're looking for. But in general, Ms. Chen has the best. But she's only open basically 1 day a month. In about 6 days is when her next auction is. You need one of the gold cards to get in, is what they tell you.
And how do you get that?
The stall guy's like, I don't know. I would
Have you ever been to
trade
one
my
of these?
partner for one of those. And
Fair.
the guy who's like in the back scrubbing up pots so they shine kind of looks up and says something rude to him, and he makes a rude gesture back.
Have you ever met anyone who has been able to go to that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. And he kind of points over across the way to a very sort of, like, almost feels like an ancient looking Chinese man who is sitting there, clean shaven, but like wrinkles like the crags on a mountain. And he is standing in front of a stall that doesn't seem to have anything, and he is leaning both hands on a very old cane.
Okay.
He has been at every one of the auctions, and he brings back stories.
Well, these antiquities just sound fascinating. Wouldn't you agree, friends?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Edith, as you're looking around, you're a monster hunter. You are sort of keyed up to imminent threats and danger. And as you're looking around, you can see that there is, remember those guys in the suits I was telling you about? With the mirrored shades that have been moving through. They have come to the old man's stall, and they have surrounded it completely. They are talking to this gentleman, but the person who is talking is a woman with like hair the color of the back of a drama card, so kind of orange, yellow, and red, kind of mixed all together, and she stands nearly 7 feet tall, and you can see as she moves, her hair is constantly moving of its own accord. Like, you're indoors, there's not that much of a breeze, but all of her hair is pulled into these what at first look to be long dreadlocks that hang down below her waist, but they are seeming to writhe as if
Like
they're
under
alive.
water kind of.
Yeah.
Medusa.
And you see her nod, and one of the guys standing next to her, as the old man is focused on her, kind of snaps his wrist down, and touches the back of the old man's neck, and he goes completely rigid, and 2 more people kind of grab him and start walking him out of the antiquities market.
Can I see where they are taking him?
They seem to be taking him back towards the entrance that you entered through. When you got off the bus, you were kind of replaying it. You do remember 2 large, nondescript black vans with tinted windows that were kind of parked off the main street, and these guys got out and kind of went in.
And does anybody else, like any of the locals, appear to notice this, or are they?
No one seems to notice this because with a 20, you notice that one of the people of this half dozen group that walked up kind of has stepped into the stall, and he walks into the stall, and your line of vision is sort of broken, and there seems to be some sort of haze effect, and there are 2 of these old men. One that is being supported by the 2 guys, and now a new person that has kind of taken their place.
I want to bring this to V's attention.
So they're heading out to the alley to these trucks.
They're heading through kind of, I mean, it's a sprawl of haphazardly erected stalls, some places that actually have like walls that have been built, like little shops that have been here for a while, large canvas tents with just tables set up, and then in the center of this building, there are like 4 sets of stairs that go up to this second story that only exist kind of in the center of the main market, both like attached to the ceiling somehow, and there are guards at the base of every stair. Midway up there's a platform, and there are guys there with rifles, and then there seems to be just kind of like it's this tinted glassed second floor that kind of hovers above the rest of the market.
Okay. Do you want to follow or do you want to engage with Edith?
Edith, you want to follow or you want to engage?
I mean, follow.
Okay. Then I will alert Lapis, because I'm assuming you're in the middle of an in-depth conversation. And say, hey, we need to go. And then I will text both Simeon and Tyrannic and see how that goes.
Both of your Zuzus buzz! And thankfully, these are designed for 5-year-old children to interact with in Pen Pacifica, and it basically says, from V, and it's got her picture there.
Okay.
And it says,
meet us out front following suspects.
Battle.
Power sauce.
yours is still, you got a brick. It's a very expensive paperweight there, Simeon. I love you guys in the chat, just so much. All right, so if you guys are following them and trying to stay under their radar, I need stealth rolls from everyone.
So to be clear, we're following them and we're not breaking into that place that is now more unguarded than it probably was before. Because we want to get the old man back.
Well,
That's
why
your
are they
goal.
taking the old man and replacing him with a hologram?
Oh, is that a hologram?
Well, a dude, weird image to look like.
I don't know anything about this old man. I want to know what they're doing with him.
Fair.
Ooh, that's a 20.
That's least.
Are we going to know what level of success we got?
We'll tell you what everyone's level is. So the adjusted, so the DN for this to kind of stay under their radar is 16. So
Okay.
spend possibilities as you like.
Can I spend adrenaline to add a +3?
What does that get you to?
That gets me to
I
22.
need 2 more.
22. All right, so that is
Play
a
support.
good
Good
success.
success.
Thank you. That's with a possibility.
All right, so what did everybody get? We'll start with V.
23.
All right, so that is a good success.
So you add 3 to whatever I'm playing
So
supporter
with
for.
that, I'm at 16 now.
Okay, so you got a standard
and
success.
a possibility.
Okay.
So it's not great.
23
23.
as well.
Edith.
18.
All right.
22.
All right, so Tyrannic and Edith got standard successes. Everyone else got good successes. All right, so you are threading your way through this market. This guy is out completely, and you can see that they've attached some sort of collar to his neck. The two guys are dragging him. 2 people are following behind, and the woman with red hair is in the front. And they exit the market, they take a sharp right, and they head towards the vans. You can see that there are 2 identical people in both driver's seats, and they are sitting like
Oh, good. They're like
they have
clones.
chrome teeth.
Robots.
Johnny Caps.
So do you want to stop the man from getting in the van, or
Edith, what do you think? Do you want to try and follow him? Or do you want to stop him from getting in the van?
Restart, you can have a possibility for that Scooby-Doo reference.
I mean, I would like to know where they're going. So yes, I would like to try to follow them.
That's kinda what I'm
but
thinking,
also
too.
that's going to involve us trying to drive. So
Well, what if we get ourselves one of these, a van with another robot, and it can just drive for us?
you think that'll work?
Are you guys going to try and hail a digital cab and say, follow those vans? Is that essentially what's...
Follow those.
Replicate that route.
is there a way that maybe we could like stealthily climb on top of the van?
No.
Can you hack the van?
Ooh, can I hack the GPS
I
of the
was
van?
wondering if we could hack the van and try to figure out what the destination is.
I feel like Tyrannic just uses hack as kind of his generic Smurf word because he's been around. Can you, hack that sushi roll for me?
Yes, right.
Yes, I can cut
That's
the
what
sushi
you
roll
do
up for you. It's
in
not
any
actually.
situation, right?
That's
I
right.
hack, I mean, that's all I
Do you want to try and figure out where they're headed to?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We don't have to try and drive if we can just figure out where they're going, where this Medusa lady is
Give me a. So this will be a near impossible hack. So this will be a DN20.
computers.
Yep.
Okay. 20.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. So you can follow them.
Okay. Great.
So about an hour later, as you are tracking them through the streets of Shanghai, you arrive at a.
We'll like ditch the cab like a few blocks away.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's
okay,
totally
great.
fair. So you guys arrive at the outskirts of this luxury apartment complex. The vans have both gone underground. There's an underground parking garage, and you are only about a minute behind them.
Okay.
Is there a way to get into that underground
Oh yeah,
parking lot,
like
or
it's.
do we have to go past guards?
Nope, you can get into the underground. You do see corporate security stationed in the lobby,
Okay.
but there doesn't seem to be any in the parking, the underground parking area.
Okay. Then I will gesture towards going into the parking lot and head that way unless I am stopped.
No, I'm good.
Sure.
All right. As you descend down into the parking level of this luxury apartment, you can see there's a lot of nice motorcycles. There's a lot of nice cars. You do see the vans. The vans have parked in front of a. They have just kind of pulled up next to a service elevator. Both sets of doors are open, and as you kind of approach, you can see that they are dragging this old man out. They have now cuffed his hands with a very thick restraining cuff. So not like handcuffs, but like a solid. It's got a little bit of flex this way, but no room either way. And you can see that there's some sort of control panel on them. And they are the woman with the red hair is supervising this, but now there are more people. It looks, as the service elevator opens, another 4 of these people in suits kind of come out, and they are kind of talking and discussing. There is a young man who seems very angry about this old man being here.
Can we get close enough to listen?
Sure. Give me another stealth check. Are you all going up, or are you just... before we hear her response, I need to know who is going up to listen. Or are you guys staying back?
I will stay back.
Okay, I'm thinking, can I use my gizmos perk to create myself a little ear horn kind of thing?
What does your Gizmos perk do?
So it kind of allows me to make an ad hoc kind of device, like a one-use. Let's see. I have the actual description on it. Here, give me a second.
No, is it in the main book, or is it in the Nile Empire book?
I don't remember.
Okay, I will let you look that up.
Okay.
Is anyone else stealthing up?
Edith, are you particularly stealthy?
I will try.
No. I mean, I'm stealthy, but
You're staying back.
yeah.
All right.
I realized that I should have asked somebody in the market who that man is.
But it is now too late.
It is now too late.
I didn't get a name when they were talking about him. They just
Nope,
pointed to him.
they just
Okay.
pointed to him.
Yeah, it must be in
In the Nile
the
Empire
Nile
book.
Empire. I still have-
Genie, you moved all of my books. They look so much nicer, but I don't know where anything is. Gizmos. Once per act, you may make a hard science test to construct a gizmo. Okay, it's a gizmo that replicates a single pulp power with no enhancements. All right.
So, it's a science roll.
It is a science roll.
I think I could spend a possibility to re-roll that, yeah.
Or add
So-
to it. You don't re-roll, but yeah.
Oh, it adds to it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's guaranteed 10, so 10 plus the 9, I should have just another die, but anyway. Can I only spend 1? So let's see, 19.
Yes, you may only spend
so
1.
6 plus,
What'd you get?
22.
22? All right.
17.
So, come on, math. Let's see, 23.
Okay, you can definitely create a gizmo that allows you to overhear what's going on.
Okay.
And what you hear is, why did you bring him back here? Listen, you paid me, the woman with the red hair. You paid me to get him and the information that he has on UA. I have brought you the information he has on UA. Listen, it was supposed to be a stealth operation. You were not supposed to bring him back here. If you want these details to be followed, you need to enunciate them before we arrive at these situations. The old man is now your problem, and you should get out of here now. Lapis! Lapis, is that you?
Oh no.
That perfume.
I will. So if V has stealthed up here with me, you just see Lapis roll her eyes, and then step out and go. I thought that was you, but I couldn't tell. It's been. You've aged.
As you kind kind of see her in it in the light, you now recognize Li Mei, who is one of your Stormer agents when you were looking for when you were working for Volkov.
So she's a friend.
No.
Or no, okay.
No, she is a member of the Ghost Syndicates who you would routinely hire, and then probably from just your interaction here, insult horribly. And as she turns around, she's like, I heard that you were back on the side of angels. I hear that you change colors.
Oh, you shouldn't always believe what you hear.
Well, I've often wondered how this would go down. And you can see that all of the corporate security guys have now pulled out Glock 9s, and they are pointing them at you.
There's no need for this.
Oh, there's not?
No.
Then you haven't heard. I guess that bounty will be mine. It's dead or alive, and they all pull a draw on you. And we will pause there for tonight. And next week, we will open up with Lapis being shot repeatedly by Glock 9s. That one's for you, Ben. I hope you enjoy that. So, this was our intro to the Pan-Pacifica arc. We got you on the trail. We got our eulogies out. Did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Always. Chat, you guys are always just a delight. Grey March posted, what does the Gizmo perk do? Anything. And that does seem to be the truth. Check out all the other great shows on the Ulysses International channel. If you like what we do, subscribe and follow here on Twitch. Follow them on YouTube. Go out and check them out on social media. They exist everywhere that media is social. We will be back on Thursday night with more great games. We're going to be back with the Fading Suns crew. And where do we leave off? Oh, right. Tag is currently clawing his way into the...
No, he fell off.
He did not.
They just did a barrel roll and he fell off.
Yeah, no, that's not, no.
Canon.
We will be back next week with more Torg. We will kick off some martial arts and gun fu action right at the start of next session. And I hope you guys all have had a great time. Thank you, as always, for joining us on the Ulysses International channel. If you like what we do, check us out on the Iconic Production channel. We're there on Monday nights where Becca runs a fantastic Call of Cthulhu game. And on Friday nights where our friend Josh, who played in the Bureau G game, runs a D&D game that is highly accurately named called It Gets Worse. So until next time, I am JM the GM. These are the new Horsemen. And we will be back in a week with more Torg. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. And we'll see you next week.